Hello and welcome to Crafty Meraki. I'm using this really beautiful stamp set called Believe in Miracles. It's a really large stamp set, and for what we're going to do today, this is going to work out beautifully, and there is a coordinating die set for this stamp set. So I'm going to use this hot press watercolor cardstock. The difference in a hot press and a cold press is that the hot presses usually smooth the surface, and that's the reason why I'm using this cardstock. And then I've already gone ahead and embossed this large flower from this stamp set using gold embossing powder. And embossing powder usually makes it really easy if you're trying to do some watercoloring. It's so much more easier to contain the water in that embossed area, and that's the reason why I used embossing powder. And I also wanted that gold the gold embossed look on the flowers as well. So if you're new to watercoloring, try using embossing powder. It will make life a little more easier. Anyway, so all I'm doing is I'm going to use this Altenew artist watercolor set to color this flower, because there's some really beautiful vibrant colors in this set. And I'm just wetting the surface of the palette, and I'm just picking up colors. So I'm starting off with a lighter yellow color to color these flowers. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to talk. I am just going to let you watch. I'm going to add some music here, and I it's very simple, straightforward. You can see what I'm doing. It took me about an hour to just finish coloring this flower. So I don't want to be sitting here and eating your head off. So if you don't wish to see this, you can definitely fast forward it, and you can come back to after the coloring is done. But I thought I'd just leave you with some music until then. So I'll see you soon. welcome back. And now I'm here just finishing off the last bit of the coloring. And once I'm done with that, here you can see, just showing you a little closer look of that coloring that we just did. I have also gone ahead and stamped the same floral image, just the flower, the large flower part of it. And I'm just going to color that exactly the same way. And I don't want to show you the same thing again. So I've just gone ahead and colored it once more. And actually, as I went ahead, I realized I didn't really need to color the first one completely, and you'll see why. And I'm going to fussy cut this large yellow flower from the second panel just using a scissor. I'm just going to go very close to the edge of the flower and cut it, and here you can see that flower is completely cut, and I'm just going to, later on you'll see what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to just adhere that on it, and you can see why I was saying I didn't really need that piece to be colored, the bottom piece to be colored. Anyway, so I'm just going to die cut this large flower using the coordinating die, and here you can see how beautifully that die cut just cuts this massive flower stamp. And I'm just going to keep this aside. And here I've taken an 8.5 by 11 cardstock, so a complete cardstock, a full cardstock panel, and I have scored it right in the center, which is 5.5. And because I want this entire floral image to fit into it, and you'll see what I'm saying as I progress along. So I'm just trying to keep this flower there to see where exactly I want it to be. And I'm going to cut this panel, the cardstock panel or the note card, using that same die, and I'm going to give it a little hang on the left side where the crease is. So the die cut does not completely cut this cardstock, but there will be a part of it where it will be joined, like you can see here. Now I've die cut it, and you can see how that little crease remains. So it makes the shape card have that entire shape, so it makes it easier for you to adhere the other element onto it. And I'm going to do the same thing, but this time using just a circle die. And I've taken a regular note card, A4 size note card, and I'm taking a circle die, and I'm going to cut that circle die using that using that panel the same way with the overhang, so I get a shaped card. So you can see I'm pretty much making a shaped card using once the coordinating die, and the second time just a circle. And I'm going to adhere that colored panel onto the shaped card panel. I hope that makes sense. I'm just using regular old liquid glue here, and I'm just going to wiggle this around a bit to make sure everything is aligned perfectly to create. And then having that many layers also makes it, the watercolor cardstock is quite thick, and then the cardstock that I used is 110 pounds. So this is quite a sturdy card. So when you're making shaped cards and it has all these tiny areas, you want the cardstock to be pretty sturdy so it doesn't get bent or anything. So now I'm taking that, remember that tiny circle cardstock that we cut into a note card, like a circle note card. I'm going to adhere that to the center of that large yellow flower, and then I'm going to adhere the second flower, which I fussy cut using a scissor, onto this panel, onto this white circle note card. You can see why I was saying that if you were to replicate this, you don't necessarily have to stamp you don't have to spend your time painting that large yellow flower on the base. Anyway, so I'm just going to adhere this yellow flower onto it. Make sure that the adhesive is only on that white circle and nowhere else, because you want this flower to move easily. So you don't want to adhere it to the bottom flower. You just want to adhere it onto that white circle. And then I'm just going to take my take the edges of that flower and give it a little bit of a curl upwards. And that's going to make it easier for that circle note card to open up. Now keep in mind, this is not going to open flat. It will open a little bit. This is kind of a secret little message hidden inside your shaped card, so that's why I'm calling it shaped within a shaped card. So it's not going to open completely, but there is a small surprise element. So here I've taken, for the sentiment, I've gone ahead and stamped and die cut the Believe sentiment using gold embossing powder on a white note card. And I'm just going to adhere this Believe. There's now Believe, the one that I'm showing you, that sentiment also has a die cut in the same die cut set, the coordinating die set. So I'm just going to add some foam adhesive, and I'm going to adhere that on top of this flower somewhere in the bottom. Now, again, also you want to keep the sentiment inside the yellow flower. You don't want to overhang anywhere away from the yellow flower. So you want to make sure it is right on top of it. So that makes it easier. And then I'm adding an additional sentiment in which I've embossed in black. On white on black cardstock. And for this, I'm just adding the foam tape underneath Believe, and that's all I'm going to add. Just underneath the Believe. I'm not going to add anywhere. Like, it's a longer strip, but I'm not adding it all through, because I want to make sure that the flap, the yellow floral flap, moves easily. So I'm just going to add this. Now, you can definitely add a smaller sentiment, which would probably be a wise decision. I don't think this was wise enough, but I think I like the look of it, and it worked out fine. But it would probably make sense for you to add a smaller sentiment strip, and it'll be much easier for you to open and close. And then I had to add some gemstones to make this the shape card sparkle some more. You know, you need sparkle in your life, I suppose. Anyway, so I'm just adding some iridescent gemstones, and I'm going to just choose a few little spots here and there, and I'm just going to add the sprinkling of this gemstone all over. I usually lay my gemstones in the place that I want it to be, and then I use my glue to stick it. That way I'm sure, and I know that's exactly where I want it. And here you can see the finished look of this card and how it opens up. You can write your message in there, and then also this tiny little flap here, and you can write another secret message here. And I'm sure your recipient will love this. You can also put a little gift card or even money inside that smaller pouch there or something like that, and that'll be a fun element to add to. So that pretty much finished this card, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and I would really love to see you next time. Bye bye.